Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In case you're new here, I'm Kim. This is Core Union. I want to talk today about a technique that I've used for so many years to manifest. And so this is something I literally incorporate in all of my inner work. I highly suggest that you incorporate this into your daily routine. If you need help in how to do that, information on how to get coaching is always in the description box below. And I made it super simple for you. Basically, just click on the link, you book it online, email me your backstory, and then I reply back with my next available, and life is good. So basically, in case you are new here, I have been leveraging my understanding in manifesting since 2005, 2006. I have been documenting and reverse engineering and just becoming this expression, so I can help people learn how to basically have everything and anything that they want in their life, because we're all worthy of it. And we also are all capable of it. But a lot of times people aren't aware of that. And it's that I help people basically see, to help them not allow their limiting beliefs to limit them anymore. So one of the techniques that's super, super, super effective that I have done with literally, I've always done it even before I realized what manifesting was. But, now that I'm consciously aware of it, I really, really want you guys to start trying this, like literally do it after you watch this video. It is a form of visualizing, but you are not in the scene at all. How I used it was like with my business. I mean, I've used it in literally every situation because it just naturally normally happens. But I'm going to give you a few examples just for the sake of, explaining it and how to do it. With my business, when I first started my business and I didn't have any experience at all in the field, and I didn't really have any good reason to be able to make it successful. I don't share these stories to brag. I share them to point out how you can literally do anything when you trust and surrender to your vision, and you trust and surrender that God is literally going to do anything and everything to bring all of the cooperative components together, and a bridge of incidents is going to be created, that your end already exists. So you're going to be in the timeline of that end when you've fully surrendered, which means that you trust it, and which means that you are allowing it, and that you are actually accepting that version of you and whatever it is. Okay. But the technique itself is, so obviously we already know about like scripting and visualizing and affirming, and there are all different styles and ways of doing that. I have my particular method, and I have the methods that I give to my clients. For some are different. It just depends on the person, and I tailor it to that particular person's needs. But this is another thing that you basically, when I was starting my business, I wanted the customers to feel something very specific in particular when they walked into the business. So this was before I even had the retail location. This was before I even had the name of the business or the logo designed, or before I even knew exactly what I was going to be carrying specifically. I knew what I was going to want to sell, but you know what I'm trying to say. I just literally would put myself in the customer's shoes and say that I want my customers to feel that this place has a certain vibe to it. It has a very unique edge to it. It feels like an experience. I wanted the customers to have a sensory experience, that every part of their being felt drawn in. They just felt completely magnetized to come into the store. And once they were in it, they loved literally every single thing about it, that they literally felt they were transported to a completely different place, like no other store they've ever been to. Again, I wanted it to be more of a sensory experience than anything else. So that's what I imagined morning, noon, and night, even before all of those other things were in existence yet, before I had manifested all the other things. And then I just trusted myself. I surrendered myself. And long story short, without going into the details of how I started the business, everything, all the resources was just kind of there for me. And once I did open the doors, all of those things that I just thought to myself and wanted people to feel, they literally felt, and they would communicate that to me. So I would envision them without me being in the scene, and I would feel everything from their perspective, being in their shoes. Maybe it's because I'm a natural empath, and I'm a very deep feeling person, so I'm able to do that. I don't know, but it's how I've always manifested. When I had applied for, so I had bought, sold a few houses, and I was buying one that was the highest price house that I had ever purchased. And I was taking all of the money from the previous sale of the last house that I had bought and sold and putting all of that into this one. But the mortgage itself, so I think I had over $100,000 probably from the profit of that house. So I was putting that as the down payment, I think, and I could be really wrong with the numbers, but it kind of doesn't matter anyway. But something had happened that we were all lined up with literally, this was just a couple days. We were having to close on the house, and I had the buyer of my house that that's another video that I sold. I sold the house myself, and I had done this technique actually with it too. But so I had them on the line. I had the movers lined up. Like literally everything was lined up, and we were like a day or two away from the closing. Okay. And so the mortgage people, the underwriter, her name, well, I'm not going to say her name actually. She had emailed me and said that there's a problem that we can't close. They can't approve my mortgage. I could have easily freaked out. There was a little bit of a gut reaction, but I knew what I was doing, and I knew that this was just a circumstance. And I also knew that I was going to shift and change this very easily. So I processed through my emotions. I limited my emotional reaction to it. And I basically visualized, but it wasn't just visualizing me in the house. Yes, that is partly what I did. I visualized myself in the house, but I also visualized them in their office, not knowing what this person looked like, not knowing what the office looked like, not knowing what any of the people who she supervised looked like. But I literally saw her in the office talking about me, talking about the house, talking about the closing, and talking about the mortgage, and that it needed to be approved. I would hear her say things like, you need to get this through, and you need to do whatever you need to do to get this approved because they need to close. It was that kind of visualizing where I was not in the scene at all. And in a weird way, it's like I could feel myself be her fighting for me. Does that make sense? So this is such a powerful, powerful, powerful thing. And for me, it's just proof that we're all completely interconnected. It's like I could feel her fighting for me. And so I'm sure I could think of countless more situations like this, but this just gives you an idea. I don't want the video to be long. All you need to do is, whatever the situation is that you are looking to shift and change in your life, something that you want, something that you want people to come together in harmony, for example. You can have your imaginal scenes with you and the person or the people in harmony together, but you can also be the outsider and visualize, without you being in the scene, them talking about the situation and referring to you, and imagine them feeling you, if that makes sense. So it's very powerful. I highly recommend it. If you need help again with that, just look at the coaching service link in the description box below and comment down below. I love you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Nothing can come between us.